Ugh. My face is weird. I don't like that.
You can see us now. We're live. Hey, everybody. How are you? Welcome back to Starkey Bornstead. While we're waiting for everybody to get online with us today, I want to go over some of the topics we are going to cover. Today, we're going to go over what the U.S. Air Force is trying to do on Haleakala. That is in Maui. We're also going to introduce you guys to my daughter, Savannah, who just returned from New Zealand. Once you get on, hey, Sierra, how are you, sweetheart? Look, girl, you're going to did your thumbs up. Once you get on, hit the thumbs up for me. We're also going to talk about some gift bags that we're offering to you guys to help raise money for the trip back to Haleakala. I said Haleakala twice. Back to Maui. Savannah, do you want to show everybody what you did today?
Oh, yeah. I got my first little paycheck from work. I thought I was rich. Went to Target. Spent all of it.
So, yeah, she went to Target for, hey, Roma. They said hi, Savannah.
Hi.
So she went to Target after being gone from the United States for 14 months.
They don't have this in New Zealand. It smells like caramel.
Let me smell. I love caramel. Oh, wow. That's lovely.
It's EOS 24-hour moisture body lotion.
So they don't have like a Target in New Zealand?
No, they have Target, but it's only for furniture.
Hey, Miss Linda. If you guys don't
Perfume.
mind.
Oh, you can't even see it.
The mix bar is called?
It's vanilla.
Yeah. Hit the thumbs up for us when you guys pop on. We are going to get to Maui in just a second, but she's going to do an unpacking for you guys.
Yeah, I got this exfoliating lotion. Can't see it. It's so bright.
I know. I don't know why. It's very hard to see in here.
Oh, this is shaving cream. I thought it was lotion.
She thought it was lotion. She bought shaving cream, guys.
And then I got a bunch of sunscreen because I'm just burning like crazy here.
Right. So coming back to Louisiana with our over 100-degree weather, what did you tell me the other day? The sun rays were what?
The UV index. It's like 8.
All right. So the
UV day.
Yeah. Our UV index is very high here. I know last year when we went back to Maui, people were concerned that I would burn. And I kept saying, no, guys. I mean, what we tolerate here in Louisiana, do you need to shave? I guess. She might, my friend. We're going to discuss some things because Savannah has an understanding of island life. Coming back from living in New Zealand for 14 months, she kind of has an understanding of what it's like to live on an island. So do you want to explain to everybody what it's like living on an island? I think I scared her, folks. I asked you if you wanted to go over what I was going to ask. You were like, no, let's wing it. Let's wing it, Mom. Okay, so
run point on this.
Right. Well, we'll tell you guys this. Her experience has lent her with an understanding of how information travels around islands and how private people are.
New Zealand's not quite as small as Hawaii, I don't think.
Yeah, it's not as small as Maui is. Maui's pretty little.
Yeah.
New Zealand's like 3 of the Mauis. Can you do me a favor, Nanny? Can you find my phone? Because I need it for an article that I want to read to everybody.
Where'd you have it?
I don't know. Maybe out. So it is. It's over there. Over there. You guys know how it is having a daughter. Okay, folks, let's jump into this. I have some articles I found today about Maui that I want to discuss with you. There is a proposal from the United States Air Force to build new telescopes atop Haleakala, the volcano that's on Maui, okay? Now, the community pushed back. They pushed back a lot against this. They didn't want it because it's going to be 7 new telescopes. Anybody want to guess what the name of this thing is? I kind of was shocked when I came across it because they named it Amos Store, A-M-O-S Store, all right? And when I looked up what the word Amos actually means, it means to carry or be borne by God, okay? If you do from Hebrew, the meaning is burden. So, God bless Maui. I agree. So they are coming. They're getting a lot of pushback. The community is. There's actually one plant that grows on Haleakala on the island of Maui that does not grow anywhere else in the entire world, people. And that's called the silver sword plant. It's beautiful. It's also endangered. So adding anything up there extra is going to be an issue. If you guys aren't familiar with it, the problem is that the volcano is considered sacred ground. Okay. So going up there and adding anything else to it, it kind of upsets everybody. And Roma said, God bless USA. Yes, ma'am. Guys, if you don't mind, hit the like button. We're fixing to jump into this. Today, I did a video for you guys on what's going on with infertility across the world and how they're using gene splicing to go in and correct certain issues in embryos before birth. Something I found after I put that video up was that you can actually go to a fertility clinic, have your embryo and the sperm, right? You can start the process in the petri dish and then freeze them. What they do from there is start running tests on those embryos to decide whether or not there are any diseases that your child may or may not have, say like diabetes or even mental problems. So what they have decided to do, I moved you out to make you comfortable. What they've decided to do is people are choosing what embryo meets their standard and then birthing that child. My question is, what do you do with the rest of the almost babies? Like, are they staying frozen?
Yeah.
Huh?
They stay frozen.
But do scientists have control of them? That's my question. Like, where do they end up?
They just stay frozen.
They don't, though. They don't have millions of frozen babies like in the first couple of weeks of creation. They're doing something. I mean, my question is, do the scientists get these babies? Like, what is happening to them?
Nothing. It would be illegal for them to do anything with them.
I don't think so. I think you might be wrong. I think you're signing away your rights to those embryos. I'm going to dig deeper into that. Guys, listen, we're going to make a merchandise bag. Okay, so it's going to be a Storky Farmstead merchandise. From there, I'm going to put a fire starter from Coleman. I'm going to have a thank you note signed by the entire family. You're going to get 1 year free newsletter, worm castings, and non-GMO heirloom corn seeds, right? That's all going to come together for anybody that donates $250 or more towards the trip to Maui. Now, the plane tickets are taken care of. I reached out to the Hawaiian King this morning. We are going to be with the Hawaiian King August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in the Hana area on the island of Maui. We will then travel back towards Lahaina, and we will stay in that area for the remainder of the time, which will be the 3rd, the evening of the 3rd, all the way to the 11th when we board to go home. What we're looking for now is some form of accommodation for the 3rd through the 11th. So if anybody has a timeshare or anything like that that you can donate to this mission trip, we would greatly appreciate it, guys. We really would. Every penny that we are fundraised so far, we're going to be giving out to the fire victims. Our goal is to be there for the 1 year anniversary of these fires. I want to talk to the victims. In September and October, they were still very emotional. We want an idea of what's really going on, folks. And the only way to do that is to be there in person. I was explaining to Savannah about the rumors of the kids being kidnapped on the island and how all of this got started in September. And I said the weirdest thing for me, folks, was that once I got there and realized there absolutely wasn't no way 2,200 children had been taken, people got angry. And she said, well, Mom, people are just different. You know, some people need that. Thank you so much, Nanny, for coming. Tell everybody bye. I'm going to let her go rest, folks. Like she said, she finally got to spend her first paycheck, and she had a lot of fun today. All right, so Lee said, help the Hawaiians find sovereignty. That's how they saved Lahaina and saved the Hawaiian people. I totally agree. That is the purpose of going and staying with the king the first 2 nights. in Hana, folks, is to actually sit down and talk to him. And I'm going to tell you guys the truth. Those first 2 nights, we have been already given accommodations through that group of people that work with the king. And I can't say names, but I was asked not to say too much about that. Anyway, we're going to be staying with delegated members, okay, in Hana the first 2 nights. Our whole goal is to see what he has. My daughter was like, well, if they do get their sovereignty, how are they going to handle people who already own property, people who have businesses, Mom? And those are questions I simply cannot answer. I need to speak to him person to person and videotape that for you guys, because that is a logistical question, right? What do? You've got an island with people from all over the world living on it. When the land is indigenous people's land, how do you get the land back from Oprah? How do you get it back from Zuckerberg? What are you going to do? How are you going to keep China or Russia from coming over here and taking the island from you? So these are real questions that only one person can answer. And that is a person that is in line for the throne when the Hawaiian Kingdom is put back together. Yeah, Roma said even part of a timeshare, if more than one person could donate a certain amount of number of nights, that would be amazing. I don't mind packing up and moving. I'm not going to live, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to stay for a month. So if I've got to stay, keep my clothes in a suitcase, I'm okay with that. At this point, it's just that every penny that we're fundraising is going back to the fire victims. So anything that helps us not have to come out of so much money out of pocket for, say, like a timeshare, anything like that, a place to sleep, because of the expenses, like $400 a night, folks. And so if we don't have to pay that, then that's more money that we have to give out, and not on top of what we fundraise. The last 2 trips that we went, we were able to give out thousands of dollars to fire victims and to nonprofit small ones. But on this trip, we're changing up the way we do things. It's going directly, every single penny, to fire victims. And I'm going to tell you why. When I realized that $162 million had been raised and given to nonprofits, but not directly to the people affected by the fires, I was insulted. You've got maybe maximum of just say 5,000 people that were directly affected by the fires, just 5,000. It's not that even many. You know what I'm saying? It's not even that many people. Even if you would have just taken $5 million, you see what I'm saying? And given it directly to the people who were affected by the fires, they would have had plenty of money to pay their mortgages off, to buy another vehicle, to replace all their furnishings. But they didn't do that, folks. They took $162 million and pieced it to all these nonprofits. So say that you need bedding, you got to go to this nonprofit. Say that you need a grant to keep your company afloat or replace items that burned that your company needs. You have to go to this nonprofit. You have to do a different application at every single nonprofit for different objects that you want. Linda says, as a fire victim, even a year later is not very long, because you spend the first few months numb in shock and you're still in survival mode, especially with the lack of help they have been receiving. And I agree with that, Linda. And let me tell you guys something most of you do not understand. All the applications for the majority of the funds that $162 million went to all these nonprofits, from everything that I've seen, most of the applications were cut off October of 2023. So people didn't even know what they needed yet. They haven't even been back to their property, right? They don't know what they need. And now they can't even apply for the funds. So that's what I'm talking about. It has been such a money grab, a land grab. It's been so confused. It's been insulting, folks. I'm insulted with the fire victims not getting that money also, and with our government giving them only $700. It's a slap in the face. It absolutely is a slap in their face. I'm not going to lie to you. It is a huge slap. So what I wanted to tell you guys is there's several different ways that you can help us, guys. We have almost 50,000 people on our YouTube channel. If everybody would just dedicate $5 and send it, you start adding that up. And it does add up pretty quick. But if everybody would send just $5, it's a cup of coffee. You're skipping a Big Mac. That's it. You're skipping 1 gallon of gas because that's how expensive things have gotten underneath Biden. I mean, it's ridiculous. And it was like I was telling my husband, the problem I'm finding with this time is everybody's so discouraged and so angry with how the money they'd already sent to Maui went right back into the hands of the rich. It went right back into the hands of the elites. They get everything. The fire victims get nothing. Then the only thing I can tell you is help us go and document that. Help us go and make it aware and apparent to people why you don't give to Red Cross, why you don't give to these big organizations. Oh, somebody gave us a smiley face and a heart. Love you guys. Folks, if you'll hit the thumbs up for me, that helps the algorithm push this video out. Please make sure, excuse me, that you hit the like and subscribe and that you comment. That also helps people see that we're here. Because I want you guys to understand that this means a lot to Stephen and I. To go back, we're going to sit down with Iris. Iris has gotten almost 100,000 views on the video we did with her. She was our person that talked about the police blocking people in, right? Hey, Remnant. Right? Do you like the Big Mac GMO? Hey, Enver. Hey, the Remnant. I pray that 20,000 or more is raised too to be handed out to the victims. I absolutely do. And guys, we can do that. We absolutely can. And I know what everybody's thinking. I don't have 20,000. Nobody's asking one person to do it. It's the concept of rowing in each other's boats, right? But we're going to get Iris back on here. And I'm going to show you guys where she was in September when I interviewed her last year and where she is now 12 months later. That's my goal. It's to go back to the people that we did interviews with in September and October and put them back in front of you a year later to show you how little has actually been done. Thank you, Truth Warrior. We love you guys too. But I cannot tell you guys enough. We can make it there. I've already got that set aside. I mean, airline tickets are done. You see what I'm saying? We've got the first couple of nights covered by the King in Hana. One way or the other, I'll find accommodations, even if nobody has a timeshare. But folks, we want to be able to give out the money when we get there. And that money has to be generated by all of us rowing in the same direction. State Street, they are afraid to get involved with the Hawaiian indigenous native tribes because people are the Hawaiian Islands. I agree. And this is the thing. There's been so many rumors. So like I was telling you guys at the beginning of the video, I was explaining to my daughter, why did we go to Maui? Because she was in New Zealand when all of that happened. And I said, well, there was a rumor of 2,200 kids being taken. And I couldn't poke holes in the rumors until I got to Maui. Once I got there, I realized there were no tunnels under Lahaina. And if you guys want to know how I can prove it to you, go watch updates about what the town of Lahaina looks like. The natural springs that were there 100 years ago when they began building the city on top of it, since everything's burned, those natural springs are coming back out the water and everything's flooding. So that's what people do not understand is there's no tunnels under that section of the island. It actually is full of water, natural fresh water that come up as springs all through Lahaina, but they were concreted over. They had a parking garage over the biggest one, and they were pumping 1 million gallons of fresh water out into the sea every day to keep it from flooding. Now, if you want to talk about water wars, that is insanity. There's not enough water on the island for the indigenous people to grow food, but there's enough water for you to pump 1 million gallons into the ocean because you want to put a parking garage there. That's what we're talking about. The mismanagement of the of the state of Hawaii, right? And the government, the United States government, and how they have treated the island of Hawaii. Everyone in June, I'm going to commit to sending at least $5 to help the victims. I challenge each of you to do the same. Oh, thank you, Roma. And that's what we need, folks. If everybody, there's 48 of us here right now. There'll be 1,000 people that watch this video before the end of the day. If everybody sent $5, that's 5,000. I love you too, Angela. Thank you guys for being here with me. It's knowing that, let me ask you guys something. Have you ever been somewhere like in a grocery store and you couldn't afford everything in your buggy? Or you've been at the gas pump and you knew you only had $20. That's it. That's all you got. And somebody goes and pays for your gas before you can finish pumping it. Or pays for your groceries so you don't have to put that object back. Or gives you the remainder of what you need. At least a few of us have been on the receiving end of that. And some of you have been the ones who made the difference up. See, Roma said yes on the grocery store, right? Been $1 or $2 short. And somebody steps up and says, here, I've got you. That is the mindset we're looking for, folks. We want to go. And when they're doing all these celebrations or remembrance, whatever you want to call it, for the fire victims, we want to let the Holy Spirit lead us to somebody that needs it and hand them a few $1,000s. I asked my husband last night, I said, Stephen, can you imagine walking up to someone who's lost everything and handing them an envelope with $18,000 cash in it? And he was at the mirror getting ready for church. And he turned around and looked at me and he goes, oh my God, that'd be amazing. I said, we can do it. Guys, we can do it. We can literally hand somebody thousands of dollars. They're not helping them. Do you know how frustrating it is to go from one organization to another? I'm being told that June 10th, they're kicking out all the rest of the last victims out of the hotels. Then I'm hearing that to get any help, folks, they've got to go to this nonprofit. And if they missed the cutoff in October, then they're like, oh, here's a list. So the nonprofits aren't even communicating. They're leaving it to the fire victims who have no vehicles and no public transportation in that area when gas is almost $7 a gallon to find somebody to take them from place to place. You call, they don't answer. It's so frustrating. Linda says, even if you donated before, even if you send less than you did before, at least this time they will actually get it all from Sam. And that is why I donated, because I know she will give it all to them. Thank you, Miss Linda. And I'll be getting your bag to you. Miss Linda was one of the recipients that will be getting the merchandise bag with the fire starter, the 1 free year newsletter, the worm castings, the seeds, and the thank you note. Guys, we're doing everything we can to get y'all to understand how much we appreciate it. And I'm being really serious. No, it's not as racy or interesting as were they possibly kids kidnapped, or because that got everybody all upset. Now it's been a year and folks don't want to worry about that anymore. We've got a presidential race coming up soon. We've got all these things going on. We've got a war between Israel and Hamas. We've got all of our money, billions of U.S. taxpayer dollars going to the Ukraine. Our southern border is legitimately being invaded. We've got Chinese nationals on our, all of our USA Air Force bases. They're walking on the Army bases. Crime rates going up in the cities. People have had enough. They've had enough. The remnant, the people who were in hotels or condos are given the pink slip to leave the property by June 10th and no place to go. This is happening to thousands of people. My guess, don't know the exact number. We'll find out. All right, so Victoria said, how will you decide who will receive the money gift you will bring? The way we'll work it out is I've met some of the fire victims before. Iris is the first one that really comes to my mind. She was so sweet. You guys, if you did not see that video, go to the playlist, Where Are the Children? And just scroll back to September of last year, and you'll see a really cute, she's so cute. And it says, fire victim discusses police blocking the lanes. I will talk to Iris and ask her and a few other people that know fire victims firsthand, who is getting no help? Who needs a few $1,000s to finish off their mortgage payment? Who needs a couple of $1,000s to buy a used car? Hello, Gianna. How are you? And I'll pray about it. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you at all. I'll do exactly what God tells me to do. And some people can't understand that. They don't have any faith for that. I learned a long time ago, obedience is better than sacrifice. And if I'm obedient in whatever I'm doing, God works that out for me, folks. He does it all the time. He does it all the time. So again, airline tickets are taken care of. Those were donated. All right. So airline tickets are donated. The first 2 nights are covered. We'll be staying in Hana with the King of Hawaii to meet His Majesty and document the sovereignty. What we need mainly, folks, is if anybody can help us find room and board. Like I really need a timeshare or a small condo. That's what we're going to need. And we're going to need that for August 3rd through the 11th. So a lot of you know, I'm going to be completely transparent with you. So I'm going to talk to you from now until the time we leave for this trip. I'll go live when I'm there. I'll record every day. I'll put up multiple videos. You're going to have to walk the trip with me. That's what you're doing. We can't all go. The island is still in pain, but they're losing so many people coming. I told y'all this. 5,000 people have lost jobs. 4,000 since the fire have left that island. That's a travesty. Joanne said, thank you for the update and how can we help? The best thing you guys can do, Miss Joanne, is people help us fundraise to give money to the fire victims. We're not giving to any nonprofits. I'm not giving to any churches. I'm giving to people and only people. Only people. While we're there, we blend in and we listen constantly. We will go to all the hubs. We will go to, again, just like I did in October with Stephen, anytime the government's having a meeting or an open forum, I'll be in that audience recording it for you guys. I'll be there taking notes. We're trying to show the world what's happening. And the problem is they can do whatever they want to because Maui's in the middle of nowhere. If you guys have never seen how we do our giving, we have, it's called Give, Send, Go. All right. Give, Send, Go. You can type in Stephen Starkey, and it's literally going to pull up Maui trip number 3. Our goal is $30,000. It is. We want to give out $30,000. And I told Stephen, that's why I was asking him last night, can you imagine giving one person $18,000? Hello, Marty. Hey, Abigail. I love it too, Abigail. That's the point. The people need the money. Nonprofits don't need the money. The churches don't need the money. The businesses don't need the money. It's the people. Hey, Joanne. Okay, so I go back next week. They took the molds of my teeth, and I'm going in next week, and we're going to be putting in the fake teeth and seeing how my bite is and if they fit correctly. And then if they do, they'll send those off one more time to do the actual teeth. So this is going to be the mold with the teeth, and that's next week. So I'm super excited. Victoria says, amen, sister, our God is good, and He will show you what to do and where to go. I totally agree. Much aloha. Hey, Jenny in the vet. Thank you. So yeah, $30,000 is not hard. We have 50,000 people on our YouTube channel on this one platform, 50,000 people. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if every person gives $1, we've exceeded a $30,000 goal. Now, is that going to happen? No. That's the shame of it. It's not tragic enough anymore, folks. That's the problem. So that's the problem. It didn't just happen. You know, it's not important enough to people to skip a cup of coffee or a gallon of gas to send a couple of dollars. Yeah, Joanne. I know. I'm excited to get my teeth before I go too, especially since we're going to be meeting the king. I mean, who wants to go toothless anywhere, right? I would think so, Abigail. 30,000 should be a cinch. And I told my husband, I've always said this. I believe there's one person that's going to send 10,000. I have had that feeling since the first time we went in September and October, and it has stayed with me this whole time. There's one person who's got $10,000 that's going to be sent to this mission trip. They just don't know it yet. And Bogota, Colombia for only 6,000. Yeah, these were only like 38, I think, or 4,200 altogether when it was done. So they won't be as bad. I'm excited. That's upper and lower also. We also, guys, you can do Cash App. So a lot of people, like with the Gifts and Go that I put up at the top, when you type in, it says, search, you type in Stephen Starkey, it's going to bring you right to the Maui trip. And you can give, or you can give straight to like Cash App. And what I do is write it down and set it aside. And then when we go, we just bring that money back out. And it's Stephen Starkey, Starkey Farmstead 2020 for the Cash App. Now, somebody told me earlier my PayPal was acting up. I don't know. It shouldn't be acting up, folks. It should not be acting up at all. But that's what I just want to kind of go over with you guys. Where are we at? What do we still need? And what is the goal of this mission trip? This mission trip is very clear what God told us to do. Go meet the King. And I'm going to continue to stand on that Bible verse, folks, that if you are good, if you are exemplary in what you do, God will bring you into the presence of kings. And I believe that. They actually reached out to Stephen and I, and I'll never forget that first email we got. And it literally said, we're reaching out to you because of your integrity. I could have went to Maui and stuck with the Where Are the Children, like all these other YouTubers are. And I could have cried and screamed and had 300,000 subscribers at this point and be making a ton of money. Instead, I had to block 700 people and literally not allow them to comment on my videos because they didn't want to believe that these kids weren't kidnapped. I am never going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't care if that offends people or not. You don't bear false witness, folks. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. We have done this every time we have fundraised. I tell you what it's for. I bring you on the trip with me. We do exactly what we say. And then when we get home, we show you exactly where all the money went. Every single penny of it. So it's the best we can do. I'm going to trust God. I told my husband, I feel like this is going to be the biggest faith walk I've done in a long time because this is the first time we've had pushback. People like, it's not worth it. Nothing we do, we can't win. The elites are always going to beat us. And I'm like, you know what? I've never heard that negativity before. So that's how I know that this mission trip is ordained by God more than any of the others. And I firmly believe that. Oh, she said, I'm on Gifts and Go, and there's several categories. Where do I go? Okay, so let me pull it up for you real quick, love. You go to Gifts and Go, and it's going to look like it's going to have a search right here at the top, and you're going to type in Stephen, Steven, space Starkey, Starkey. And then you hit the green button and it's going to search, right? It's going to search and it's going to show you our Food for Thought campaign that's still up. And then it's going to say Maui Trip 3, Restoring Native Lands and Fire Victims. Maui Trip number 3, Restoring Native Lands and Fire Victims. Hey, Miss Lorraine, how are you? Thank you, Abigail. She says, that's why I love your channel, your integrity. Once integrity is lost, it's impossible to get back. I totally agree. And you guys will never know the hate I got. I told my daughter, I said, Savannah, when I told people, guys, there were kids that died in the fire, that's some of the discrepancy, but no kids were kidnapped. I said, people literally said, you were bought by Oprah. She goes, then where's the money? I went, right? If I had been bought by Oprah, I wouldn't be still living here. I mean, I love my home. I am not complaining. But dude, I'd be on 300 acres in Arkansas and Mississippi running cattle, right? I'd have employees. I wouldn't be out here busting my bottom. Oh, bye, Jan. She said she's sick. God ask you to heal her in Jesus' name. Amen. God bless you. Oh, all right, love. Bye, sweetie. So that is kind of what's going on. But if you guys want to give to the Give, Send, Go, that's actually the easiest way for me. And it lets people see how much is raised when it goes through that one particular. So again, you just go to givesendgo.com, just like GoFundMe, but it's Give, Send, Go, and type in Stephen Starkey, and it's going to pop up. It's going to be a picture of him on there. That's him and I right there in Maui the last time we went. But I love you guys. We went shopping today. Savannah got her job. She got her first paycheck. She spent the whole stinking thing. She had so much fun. There is not a Target in New Zealand. Go figure. There's not on Maui that I know of either. I know there's one Walmart on that entire island. Folks, let's make this happen. All I can tell you is that he who sows reaps. And when we're giving that money away to those fire victims, the ones of you that gave, you will never feel better about yourself than at that moment. And I know from experience, because when we were there in September, we spent $4,000 of our money passing it out to people, and I've never regretted it since. Not once, not one time. It was amazing. It's amazing to help other humans. There's nothing like it. It's how God made us. All I'm asking is skip a gallon of gas, skip a Big Mac, put the coffee down one time. And if everybody, there's 61 of us on here right now. If all 61 of those people sent $10, that's 610. If all 61 people sent $100, it's 6,010. We can hit that 30,000. We can exceed it if we'll all row in the same boat, in the same direction to the fire victims in Maui, so that Stephen and I can put the sovereignty information out there. Because like my daughter said, Mom, what are they going to do? I said, I don't know. It's all for him to tell us. He wants to call the Hawaiian people back to the island. Yeah, the remnant said all those platforms who dug into the Lahaina Maui fire massacre were all targeted by the beast system and the globalist elite cabal. They were nervous about those who went down the rabbit hole too. I'll tell you this, I was monetized and then I wasn't. I was getting paid by YouTube and then I wasn't. And every time we get a little closer to the truth, the more heat comes on us spiritually. And I'll tell you this, my faith has done nothing but grow. God says, be thankful for everything in every season of your life, folks. He said, this kind of stuff's going to happen. How do you know you're doing what God wants you to do? You get pushed back. You get pushed back. The devil doesn't want Samantha on Maui. He doesn't want me talking to the fire victims. He doesn't want me handing out money, because you can't get anything done, folks, without cash. So they don't want me to hand money to people so they can pay their property off or pay that next mortgage note so the bank doesn't take their heritage land. They do not want that to happen. Don't you understand? They want these people to have to go from nonprofit to nonprofit asking for used goods or gift cards. They won't give them money. Why? They don't want those mortgages paid off. Yeah, the house is burnt. They still owe the mortgage. And now June 10th rolls around. They're going to owe rent for a new place to live and the mortgage. Because remember the video I showed you guys, I did for y'all, I guess like last week. Guess how long they're estimating it's going to take people to rebuild their homes? 10 to 20 years. You heard me right. 10 to 20 years for everybody to have their homes rebuilt in Lahaina. Yeah. The first building permit was just issued 8 months post fire, and it cost those people $3,000. It's all about the money, folks. So when I'm asking you to send it, it's not me saying I want your money. It's saying let me bring money so these people can do what they need. Because if they don't have $3,000 for permits, they can't even start building their home again. Let's see. Judy says, that comment is very appropriate as I'm sewing and listening to this video. It is. Sandy said, how do I donate? Sandy, you can go to Give, Send, Go, which is a platform like GoFundMe, but it's called Give, Give, Send, Go. I'm typing it right now. You type in Stephen Starkey, Steven Starkey, and my husband and I's platform is going to pop up, and it's going to say there's going to be a Food for Thought campaign where we're raising money to give all the food away, and then scroll up, and the next one says Trip Maui number 3. Epileptic pilot. I'd rather see a gathering of people demanding our government do right by the people of Maui and stop giving to everything not pertaining to American. I totally agree. I couldn't agree more. Lee says, when you're over the target, bad intentions, people throw stones. You're very right. Then you look at the $345 million they spent on a pier into Gaza that is washed out to the sea. Yes, Jesus, right? Well, look at what they've given to the Ukraine, folks. Billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. And literally somebody busted me the other day. They're like, Samantha, that's our ally. I said, no, they're not. Let me explain something to you. You and I are standing side by side, and a group of people come to assault us. And I have to defend myself, plus I have to defend you because you're weaker than me. You're not my ally. You're the weakest link in the chain, and you're going to get us both killed. An ally is somebody that is equal to or stronger than, okay? Ukraine's not our ally. Ukraine is another money pit. It's another money laundering thing, just like Maui is. May the Lord watch over every step of the way. Yes, simple love, giving to strangers, that they are our good friends, restores faith in the living. Yes. Yet, Diane, you get it. It restores faith. I'm starting to think the whole Ukraine-Russia thing is just theater and there is no real war. I've heard that several times, and I've seen video of people in the Ukraine dancing and partying. I'm just saying. Okay, Judy said, why didn't they have mortgage insurance? Most lenders require that to be part of the process. No, they don't. No, they don't. That's gap insurance, Miss Judy. That's not required. If you have a vehicle and you wreck your vehicle tomorrow, your insurance will either cover damages or they will total the vehicle. Sometimes, depending if you're upside down in your notes or you paid too much or whatever, they will pay it off. Sometimes they don't. You have to get something called gap insurance to pay the difference of what you owed and what your insurance paid. It's called to bridge the gap. Understand? It's the same with the mortgage, sweetie. If you didn't have fire insurance, it's not going to cover it. And then you may have only had $20,000 in fire insurance, and there was $60,000 in damages. Or if the whole structure is gone and your mortgage is $200,000, but you only carried $40,000 in insurance, you've got $160,000 in mortgage you still got to pay. Yeah, so okay. So Epileptic Pilot said we have gap on our cars and it's worth it. I agree. If you've got a vehicle that you're still paying a note on or a house you're paying a note on, you know what I'm saying? Get gap insurance, folks, because otherwise you could end up in the same position. This is what they're doing. The word mortgage means death pledge, okay? When you take a mortgage out, you are assuming the debt and it must be paid whether that structure stands or not, folks. It is why I'm still living in a mobile home because it's paid for. It is why my truck has one missing mismatched door because the sucker's paid for. I would rather be thankful for what I have and live within my means than go get a mortgage that I really can't afford. And then if something happens to that home and my insurance only covers a tiny bit of it, Sam's going to owe the rest back for the remainder of her life because that's what death pledge means, folks. Do you know if they allow mobile homes in Maui since they are cheaper to put there in than stick built? Okay, so here again is the problem. Thank you so, and I'm gonna see if I can say this right. Mahalalana. Am I getting that better? Am I getting better? Mahalalana? I'm trying. Thank you for having my back. I appreciate that. Miss Linda. How would they get the mobile homes to Maui, Sweet Pea? They are cheaper on the mainland. How would they be cheaper in Maui if there's a $20,000 fee to ship it across the Pacific Ocean? See, this is what I run into is the fact that most of us have no true understanding of what they're going through. Folks, they can't go to Home Depot and buy the building materials at the same price you and I can. I was shocked at the cost of food on Maui. Everything must be shipped in. This is why the king and the princess that I've talked about repeatedly are trying to bring the Hawaiian people back to the island and build the traditional, sustainable mutt, the red clay hut housing on indigenous people lands. But now they have to fight for the water. If you guys truly understood what was going on in that island, you'd understand why I've got to go back. Thank you, my love. She said, amen, my sister in Christ. She said, Hawaii in itself is very expensive. Hey, Peacorns. She said, I just heard Tulsa Gabbard speaking about tiny houses for Maui. Yes. So I saw the other day that like the first 60 or I glanced at it. I really didn't let it sink in my mind. It was over 60 tiny homes are there. But don't forget, we donated in October when Stephen and I went back. We gave over $1,000 to the regenerative homes that we did by the Okalawa dump where they're putting all the mess. The guy that was regenerative farming is doing the tiny homes. I've got videos on that. Where are the children, guys? Go back and look through all those videos. Victoria says, I'm a senior. I know this shouldn't be complicated. I put in Stephen's name. Can I just send the money to you direct? I want to make continual donations. Yes, ma'am, you can. Guys, if you are uncomfortable using a credit card, you can send cash, but wrap it in something, okay, so that nobody can see it through the envelope. They'll steal it. Or checks directly to me. Doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm going to pay taxes on it one way or the other because they're not coming to take Sam's 2 acres. Nope. I'm going to pay my taxes, folks. I tell y'all that. I don't play with the government. I'm not doing it. Anyway, God tells me pay Caesar what's due him. So you can directly mail to me. I'm putting the physical address in, guys, right there. You can make it out to Starkey Farmstead. I've got a business account because I'm an actual business. I'm not a nonprofit. So I actually have a business account at my bank in Starkey Farmstead's name. But if you do go to the Give Send Go, you've got to type in Stephen Starkey. When this video's over, Venmo, yes, I've got Venmo, Miss Victoria. Let me pull it up for you guys real quick. What I do is at the end of the live video, I go back in to comments and I put the ways that you can give. You can feel free to go back to this video and pull up comments and they'll be right there for you to make it easy. Venmo's easy for me because it's just at Starkey Farm. I left the stat off because it just didn't work well. And then PayPal is at Starkey Farmstead, LA, like Louisiana. And if you're more familiar with Cash App and you prefer that, again, it's Starkey Farmstead 2020, because that's when we became a business. Oh, she said, this is why I love Sam and Steve. They're very trustworthy. She shows everyone where the money goes. Thank you, friend. I do. I do. I hold myself accountable with you guys on a live. I did it after the trip in September and the one in October. I got on here with receipts and literally showed you guys where the money went, every single penny where it went. I'm always going to do that because I feel like so many people give out of the goodness out of your heart. God says, give $10, give 1,000, give 2,000, give 10,000, give $5. We give, but we never see where our money goes. So when I'm in Maui and I'm handing out money, I always ask people, are you okay with me videotaping me giving you this gift card or this money or whatever? Sometimes, usually they tell me no. I don't want to be recorded. It's an island. I don't want anybody knowing my business. Sometimes, like Iris, like Justin, they're open and they're okay with being on camera. Or sometimes I have to walk out of the building and say, hey, in here, we just gave away $500. Just like I did, we had a server that brought us lunch one time in October to the timeshare because we had been going all day. We had gone to help at farms. We'd worked in the sun. We were exhausted. And we just wanted to bring food in. We didn't want to be around people. So the guy that brought our food to us through Uber Eats, which we have never done in our life, we felt so fancy, y'all, eating Uber Eats. When the guy got there, he was telling us that he had rented the vehicle that he was in for work, that he'd lost everything in the fire. And I said, wait a second, you rented a car to go back to work? And he said, yes, ma'am. We tipped him $500 and he cried. He cried. And he said, why? And I said, because anybody willing to rent a car to continue to work after they've lost everything they owned in a fire. 2 months post-fire, this man was back to work. That's the kind of people that you bless, folks. That's the kind of people who don't let anything hold them down. And I'm not going to keep advocating for the Hawaiian people. I told my daughter, I said, I pray that if this world is still here in 20 years, that my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren see these videos and goes, that's my grandmother. That was my great-grandmother. I want my kids to go, that was my mom. She fought for people who didn't have a voice. I don't have to go back to Maui. God told me to, so I'm going to go back to Maui because it's going to cost me personally thousands of dollars, folks. It cost me thousands of dollars the last trip, and it cost me thousands of dollars the trip before. So it's not like I'm not putting anything into it. I have to pay for a farm sitter. You're right, Jenny, and that it is my legacy. You're right. I have to pay for a farm sitter. I have to have somebody else care for my animals for over 12 days. I have to leave my vehicle in long-term parking that cost me over $100 to get it out. It's not cheap. My husband has to miss 2 weeks of work without vacation. So he doesn't get paid. So when you look at all the stuff that we have to do to go, and everybody's like, oh, you just want to go on vacation. Seriously? Do you know what my garden's going to look like 2 weeks without me being here in August to care for it? My animals, I have over 100 animals. You guys know how I am about my dogs. I'm not tickle pink about leaving behind my heart. But I'm going to go because God told me to go. Nobody gets an invitation from a sovereign king and turns it down, folks. And you're not going to see any other YouTuber out there who got that invitation. Why? Why did he send it to us? Because he told me, you care, you've proven it, and you have integrity. And there's things that I need to get out to the world, and we need you to broadcast it for us. That's why we're going. That's why we're going. That and to give people money. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? I'm sorry, but it does make you feel good to hand people money when they're heartbroken. And I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. Tell me, when you think about your Christmas gifts or your birthday gifts or your anniversary, what are the ones you remember? There's going to be 2 types you remember. The most sentimental ones and the ones that cost the most what? Money. Go ahead, say it. See, the sentimental. There you go, epileptic pilot. Handmade. That's sentimental. That's what I meant. The sentimental, you'll never forget those. Or the ones that cost a lot of money. Everything in between, you don't remember it. You don't remember it. That's human nature. When you think about people on that island hurting, when we walk up and hand somebody $5,000, $8,000 in cash, they'll never forget for the rest of their life. Because trust me when I tell you, this is what I tell them. My YouTube channel raised this money for you. Ask any, well, you can't ask them, but anybody that's met me on the island of Maui will tell you, I tell them, this is not me. This is God. And this is the people that were obedient to God's voice. Every one of them will remember that. Suggest Tulsa Gabbard not be an accurate source of information, as she was asked if those who lost homes must continue to pay their mortgage. Her response was she does not know. She's lying. They most definitely do. They most definitely do. In fact, some of them are on the verge of losing the land because they used the land as collateral to build the house. Don't ever do that, folks. Don't ever do that. The remnant, the Hawaiian people islands need to be free and independent, and the Hawaiian kingdom reestablished as the king and the princess are placed to govern all the Hawaiian islands as independent and the land. I totally agree. Problem is 90% of Americans do not realize that Hawaii is actually not a state. We're taught in school it's a state, and people will argue. I would have argued you to a standstill prior to August of 2023. Now I'm going to tell you that it is not a state. It is a faux state. Hawaii is a faux state. Again, go back to Where Are the Children playlist. Watch the videos. I'm going to talk to you about how you can sell and buy land in Hawaii. I'm going to talk to you about its sovereignty. I'm going to talk to you about all of that, the water wars, the indigenous people, the fire, all that. It's hundreds of videos, folks. I've done hours of research. Your integrity blooms like a beautiful flower in your love for Christ. Thank you. I do love Jesus. It's sometimes hard to reconcile that 3.5 years ago, I was a drug addict to where God has me now. Okay, epileptic co-pilot said, well, I can argue with anyone and disprove that we are required by law to pay the federal payroll tax. And in most cases, it's the same with state taxes since they follow the federal format. This is all I'm going to tell you about paying taxes. Don't pay them and watch what happens to you. It doesn't matter if the law is for it or against it. There is an armed remnant of people called the IRS who is going to use the court system to attach to your inheritance, to your retirement, take your land and your home and your business and possibly put you in prison for not paying it. So I don't care if it's legal or not, the government still does it. That's what I tell people. So what? Is it legal or not? Who cares? I mean, I'm being really serious. Who cares? If you don't pay it, you're going to realize how long the arm of the law actually is, friend. You may be young or you may have nothing to lose. In my case, I own everything and have no debt. I pay my taxes because they're not coming to take my property from me. This is an inheritance I will leave to my children's children. And not paying $30 or $40 a week in taxes is going to make me lose that. I'm not doing it. No, it's not all fear. No, it's not. I know people who have went to jail for not paying taxes personally. I know people personally who have lost their home and their business for not paying taxes. So I'm not sure who told you that. But since I've seen it happen the opposite, I'll believe what I've seen with my own eyes than somebody that I don't know on the internet. Sorry, friend. Sorry. We're talking about Hawaii, not taxes. And I'm going to tell you right now, anybody that does that when you lose everything that you own or one day could have owned, just remember Samantha from Starkey Formstead said, I told you so. Okay. Because if that was true, nobody would pay their taxes, friend. I love how people say, I know that you don't have to. And then when they don't and they get in trouble, they cry. I'm not falling for that nonsense. Pay your taxes. It's called being an adult. It's also called keeping roads up and schools paid for. And, you know, we've got 30 million illegal aliens that need your tax money in the Ukraine. So pay your taxes, folks. Look, guys, I love you with all my heart. I'm going to hop off here. I'm going to end this video. I'm going to go put all the ways that you can give with a link. What I mean is in comments under this video, when it goes up as a video, there will be links that you can just click on. It'll take you straight to it and you can donate. The next 2 people that give $250 or more toward the Maui trip, folks, you'll get almost said paraphernalia. You'll get merchandise, not paraphernalia. You'll get merchandise from Starkey Farmstead. You'll get non-GMO corn seeds that you can grind to make cornmeal and tortillas. They're amazing. You will also get a 1-year subscription to the newsletter. You will get a fire starter kit, which was to go in your bug out bag. And you will get a handwritten thank you note. I love you guys. God will always use the ones that others think are not either capable or can't live up. Thank you. Thank you, Abigail. So you guys, listen, I'm going to do what God told me. He'll make a way. You can either be in that boat or don't be. Get the blessings that will come back to everybody that donates to this or miss your chance. That's on you, friend. Okay? I just know how my God works. When he tells you to do it, stop overthinking it and just do it. It's called faith. I love you guys. Have a great day. I've got to get supper started. God bless you.